Capped off by a dominating performance by Martin Perez last night. The Rolling Rangers closed out their biggest series of the season, taking 3 of 4 from the Angels and putting themselves 1 game out of the wild card spot. Tonight, it's stop 2 of a 3-city tour for the Rangers. From the Big A to O-Town, the goal remains the same: win another series and remain relevant in the playoff chase. This is Rangers baseball presented by AT&T as we move up the coast tonight into the East Bay at Oakland, where the Rangers and the A's open a 3-game series. And the Rangers hoping to keep a good thing going, back over 500 for the first time in nearly 2 months, and only 1 game back in the wild card chase coming into play tonight. Welcome in, everybody. Great to be with you once again this evening from the Oakland Coliseum. I'm Dave Ramit alongside Mr. Ranger Tom Grieve. Rangers are playing great baseball right now. They've done a lot of things right. It was a great homestand, great start to this road trip, and the reality is they just keep winning series.
They do, Dave, and you know, we've been saying for a long time, they just have to put some wins together to get back in it. That's what they've done by winning series. Take a look at the last 4 series. 2-1 against Houston, 3-0 against Detroit. Split with the White Sox, but they came back and won 3 out of 4 with the Angels. How have they done it over the last 14 ball games? Well, their offense has been pretty solid. We're going to take a look at some of the things that their offense has done. They've scored 6.5 runs a game. They're still hitting the home run, but they're not quite so home run dependent. Their team batting average has been close to 300 at 296. Still hitting the home runs. They've hit 25. Mike Napoli's hit 4 in the last 9 games. Starting pitching has been pretty solid. Their ERA is under 4. It's 3.87. They've been keeping the ball in the ballpark. They've only given up 7 home runs. Pitching fairly deeply into games, 6 innings per start. Martin Perez, one of the keys. He's won his last 4 starts, including against the Angels, one of his best starts of the year.
All right, so that's what the Rangers have done. We know the Oakland A's, it's been a rebuilding year once again for them. Their struggles have started from the beginning of the year. They continue now deep into this season, and lately they have not played well, even here at home.
No, they haven't, and it's surprising because usually they play pretty well at home. They just had a road trip where they lost 4 out of 6. Now they're coming home, and in the last 10 games, they've lost 7 out of 10. They have not pitched well at home. Their ERA is over 6. Opponents are hitting over 300. But overall, at home, they have played pretty well. For the season, they're 34-31, and anytime that Chris Davis is in the lineup against the Rangers, they're a threat to beat the Rangers. Chris Davis has hit 13 home runs, knocked in 29 in only 27 games against the Rangers.
Yeah, he has been a terror for this Rangers team. Now, tonight, they hope that Nick Martinez can do what he has done so well in his career, which is dominate at the Coliseum. We'll have his performance here in the spotlight with John Radigan when we come back. Rangers baseball is brought to you by AT&T Internet. Visit AT&T.com/keepcalm to learn more. And by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency.
the Bay Area, and we are ready for baseball on a beautiful evening for it. We welcome you back to Oakland. John Radigan here, helping you celebrate Players Weekend and helping you open a 3-game series against the Oakland A's. In our Shiner Box Spotlight tonight, we point the light in the direction of tonight's starter. Nick Martinez has been great in this ballpark. You see 6 starts, he's 4-0. That 1.26 ERA is second lowest among all pitchers who are opponents here with at least 25 innings. The other one, the one that's better, that's Pedro Martinez. So pretty good. He's also got a 257 overall in 12 starts against the A's, and that's his lowest versus any opponent. Nick will be working on an extra day of rest. He was scratched from his start in Round Rock last night so that he could travel here yesterday, which he did. He, of course, was a member of the rotation from April until June. So Nick Martinez awfully anxious to get out there. He'll be wearing the nickname Tricky as he takes the mound for your Oakland against the Oakland A's for the Texas Rangers tonight. So that's that. Dave, we get it back up to you and Tom as we continue to try and remember who's who. This is one of those days where you really can't tell the players without a program, guys.
You're right about that. It's Players Weekend. It'll be fun, but it will be challenging as well to figure out just who all these guys are. Tricky Nicky, though, going to have the start. And speaking of starts, let's take a look at the Southwest batting order tonight for the Rangers. A game over 500. Delano DeShields again in that leadoff spot. The team now 28-22 when he leads off. Rougned Odor, the only guy who's played in every game, batting 7th today. Chirinos and Drew Robinson at the bottom of the order tonight. So Kendall Graveman set to go, his 13th start of the season. He's had a lot of injury trouble this year, and he gets the first pitch to the plate, but just off the plate for ball 1. Underway tonight, and that one finds a corner.
Take a look at the Ford pitch arsenal for Kendall Graveman. He throws a lot of fastballs 75% of the time. It's a good sinking fastball. He throws a cutter, predominantly those 2 pitches. Game he pitched in Texas against the Rangers, 7 innings, 2 hits, 1 run. He threw the sinker almost 30 straight times in that game, and it was working, and the Rangers weren't able to do very much with it at all. Napoli hit a home run, and that was about it.
A little tight that time to DeShields to make it 2-2. Yeah, he had that no-hitter into the 7th inning before Napoli got that home run. At times, he can be a dominant pitcher. This one lined out to right field, base hit. So DeShields on to start the first. All right, so this goes back to April 8th, 7th inning. I mean, we were just a couple of games into the regular season, and that's when Napoli broke up the no-no.
Leading off the game, that was a pretty nice piece of hitting by Delano DeShields. Graveman had thrown him 4 pitches down and away, borderline pitches, a little bit off the plate. Threw him another one, and Delano did pretty much all you could do with that pitch to hit the ball hard is go the other way with it, not try to pull it.
Well, he's on now in front of Shin-Soo Choo. Choo 5th in the American League with a .374 on base average. And he takes a strike. So Graveman, we mentioned, just 12 starts this year, a 3-4 record, a .454 earned run average. Graveman, though, has allowed only 4 runs in the last 13 innings he has pitched. These are his last 2 starts, so, you know, getting healthy, that's number 1 for him. And then, you know, when he can get healthy and start pitching consistently, he can be pretty good. You know, we've seen that. Recently reinstated from the disabled list August 3rd. He's 1-2 with a .620 earned run average and 4 starts since coming back. And they'll keep a close eye on DeShields. Delino, 5th in the league with 25 stolen bases. Through the high pop-up, foul ground, but you can't give up on the ball in this ballpark. That one ends up in the stands, which is saying something. One guy makes all the effort, the other guy gets the baseball. You hit one in foul territory here, no guarantee that it's getting into the seats. Third baseman, first baseman, you have to stay with it every time because you can make some plays, pick up some cheap outs. A lot of foul ground here. In fact, the Raiders just played here the other day. It's a multi-sport facility. Two balls, 2 strikes on Chu, who wears the name Toki 1 on his back. Part of this Players Weekend fun. One fouled off, and the count stays 2-2. Toki 1, and you sent me the story earlier today, Tom, that goes back to his relationship with Joey Votto when they were playing with the Reds.
Yeah, they had a nice relationship, and that was the year that Shin-Soo got off to an incredible start, and Joey Gallo was spending most of the season trying to catch up with him. Joey Votto couldn't catch him, and he kind of likened it to a dog race, where the dogs are trying to catch the little rabbit that runs around. They could never catch it. And so in Japanese, Toki means rabbit. And as fate would have it, by the end of the year, Joey Votto did catch Shin-Soo Choo. He caught the rabbit.
Korean.
In Korean, I'm sorry.
Yeah, so the fun part is that Votto, wherever they are tonight, he's wearing Toki 2. He wanted to be just like Chu. And they stay in touch this day. They're both very good, probably for their leagues, the premium on-base guys. And so Chu was a good model for Votto. Votto liked the competition with Chu, and kind of fun with those nicknames. A little stories, though. So that's one of the few stories that'll come out this weekend it's sort of fun from these nicknames. Some of the nicknames are straightforward. You would have assumed them. But little ones like that with a nice story to go along with it. Elvis Andrus now. Elvis at .294 for the year. That one lined up the middle, a base hit. So DeShields gets to second, but has to stop there. 2 singles in the inning off Graveman.
We'll take a look at the A's defense for tonight's ball game. Boog Powell is in center field. Chris Davis is in left field. Matt Joyce gets the start in right. It's Marcus Semien and Jed Lowry up the middle. Matt Chapman, Matt Olson on the corners, and behind the plate is Bruce Maxwell. A couple of nice line drives so far in this game. Delano to right field, Elvis right up the middle.
So good speed out there too with both runners as Adrian Beltre takes ball 1. And you've got to combine what, 48 stolen bases out there with those two. Great numbers for Beltre. Continues to pile those up. Now this is 75th game of the year. It's this one on the ground, and that one is through into left field, a base hit. DeShields rounds third. He'll score without a throw. So Beltre with the RBI single, and the Rangers score first tonight.
Great start to the game. 2 line drives and a ground ball that found a hole. Adrian stays hot. His average all the way up to 310. Pretty good sinking fastball. Graveman actually got what he was looking for, and that's a ground ball. Looking for a double play, but Adrian pulled it just past the diving Semien. Nothing Chris Davis can do to stop Delano from scoring. But in the 5 games since scoring 17 runs against the White Sox, the Rangers have only scored 18 runs. But they've made the most out of their runs. Had a nice series in Anaheim, winning 3 out of 4.
Now a bouncing ball second base. Lowry flips to second for 1. The relay back to first in plenty of time. But just like that, the inning is over. The Rangers don't get the first run of the game. Beltre with the RBI single. And now Nick Martinez goes to the hill. Leading it off in center field. And Simeon Lowry and Chris Davis, the man you have to watch out for. Joyce, Ryan Healy, the DH. And when you look at the young players, Mac Chapman, their third baseman, might be the one guy to keep your eye on. Bruce Maxwell does the catching and will bat ninth.
Now let's take a look at the Ford pitch arsenal for Nick Martinez. Back in the big leagues after pitching very well at Round Rock. Throws his fastball more than half the time. Also mixes in a curveball, a cutter, and a changeup equally. 4-pitch pitcher, mixes his pitches up well. At his best when he can do that. Throw the fastball in on both the left-hand hitters and the right-hand hitters. When he's pitching like that, you know he's on. And he's done that against Oakland. He's pitched very well against Oakland. One of his best games was here in Oakland. In fact, he's 4-0 with a 1.26 ERA in Oakland in 6 appearances, 4 starts. So this is a ballpark he likes to pitch in. A lot of different faces in the lineup tonight than some of the A's teams he's faced. But sometimes it's not necessarily the players in the lineup. It's the stadium. It's just how it sets up to your eyes, what it feels like, the mound, the visual, whatever it is. He has pitched very well here, and he's off to a good start tonight.
A strikeout of a very hot hitter in Boog Powell. 1 away.
Batting in the second position,
That at bat started well with a good fastball in, and it ends with a very nice curveball. Big curveball, hard for Powell to lay off it, but when he swung at it, it was out of the strike zone and nothing he could do to hit it.
Now Marcus Semien. Semien batting second today. The shortstop with a .257 average, 5 home runs. Tried to check himself up, fouls that one off. We were talking earlier about the injuries for this Oakland team. Semien, a very disappointing year for him with all the time he had to miss. He was placed on the disabled list early in the season, mid-April, with what was at the time a right wrist contusion. It was his first stint on the DL. And then they found that there was more to the injury than they initially knew. Fractured bone and had surgery to insert a screw in the bone. Went to the 60-day DL. Did not come off the disabled list until July 6th, right before the All-Star break. 2-2 pitch lined up the middle. And right there for it is Odor, 2 away.
Tonight's Ranger defense is delivered to you by New Braunfels Convention and Visitors Bureau. Delino in center field. Nomar Mazara is in right. Drew Robinson gets the start in left field. Adrian Beltre is back at third. Elvis and Rugnet up the middle. Mike Napoli's at first. And Robinson Chirinos is behind the plate. The hot Robinson Chirinos has an 8-game hitting streak. And in that streak, he's hitting .464.
Well, this ball hit well out to center field, but DeShields a couple of steps to his left, and Jed Lowry is erased to complete a 1-2-3 inning for Nick Martinez. Very efficiently done. We go to the second.
In Northern California in the shadow of the Golden Gate Bridge, and here in Oakland as well. But we know that many Rangers fans are in the path of Hurricane Harvey. Our thoughts and prayers with everyone who is in the path of that hurricane. And Jeff Bannister, Rangers manager, has tons of experience with hurricanes. He grew up in Lamarck. He says as the crow flies, that's 2.5 or 3 miles from the water. And so he remembers vividly sleeping in the car because the house had no power and the only air conditioning was to sleep in the car with the car running. He rode out Hurricane Ike at his home as an adult in League City. And of course, the Rangers are scheduled to go to Houston after the third game of this series on Sunday night. There are lots of contingency plans for now. Banny says coaches and players are just worrying about the games and letting the logistics people handle all of that, guys.
Yeah, which I suppose is all you really can do. Mike Napoli leading things off here in the second inning.
Yeah, until you know exactly what's going to happen. You have a pretty good idea what's going to happen, but until you know for sure, it's hard to make the contingency plans. One thing that helps is Monday's an off day. A little bit more time to decide exactly, number one, whether you can get into Houston, whether the games are playable or not there.
2-2 pitch. And a swing and a miss. So Napoli strikes out to start the second inning.
Yeah, one of the rare cutters that Kendall Graveman throws. 75 to 80% of his pitches will be hard 92-mile-an-hour sinkers, and then occasionally you get the cutter, and that was a good one. He obviously, to the right-hand hitters, is narrowing in on that low outside pitch, trying to hit the corner, make it a little bit off the plate, hope to get the call, hope to get you to swing at it.
Odor takes strike one from Graveman. So Graveman looking decent here early on, giving up a little hard contact in that first inning, but only touched up for the 1 run. And he just gets it and wants to come right back to the plate. He's allowed 7 home runs this year in 67 1/3 innings pitched. Not an overpowering strikeout guy. Not going to put a lot of guys on for free, but you can expect the ball to be in the strike zone if you're up there hitting. It's just a matter of making sure you pick out the right one. You missed the count, 2-2. Graveman's been on the disabled list a couple of different occasions this year. Odor reaches out, shoots this one into left field. Davis on the long run, and he can't get to it. It drops in and rolls into the corner. Odor with a wide turn will wisely go back to second base with a 1-out double.
Yeah, it was not a line drive. It was more of a fly ball hit right down the line. But Davis was playing over in left center field, and as much time as he had and as hard as he ran for that ball, he couldn't quite get to it. That was a cutter that stayed on the outside corner, and Rougned went the other way with it. Davis gives it a great try, just can't get there. The Rangers have their 4th hit.
We don't see that a lot from Odor. The ability that time to go the other way with it, as you pointed out, not like he drove it the other way. He was just trying to make contact and keep the bat going, and that one really placed well for El Tipo. Robinson Chirinos now. Chirinos, of all these Rangers, maybe swinging the hottest bat. A really nice series down in Anaheim. Like 5 for 11 with a home run, drove in a couple. Got an 8-game hitting streak going at the moment. Time called right before Graveman made that move back to second base. Lance Barksdale, our plate umpire. Now, speaking of hitting streaks, Chirinos with that 8-game streak. Only Ryan Healy of these Oakland A's with a longer streak currently in the American League. His at 11. Boog Powell with a 7-game hitting streak going for Oakland as well. This time it was Maxwell asking for time. Chirinos has one of the good nicknames, Pelo Buche, from where he grew up in Venezuela. Buche refers to these mini cacti. And apparently as a kid, his hair was spiky, just shot straight up out of his head like a lot of little kids. And everybody thought he looked like a little cactus. So his nickname from youth was Pelo Buche, and that's what he wears on the back of his jersey today. 2-2. And that one is outside. Haven't seen any childhood pictures of you, Tom. Were you one of those with unruly long hair?
No, we had back then. Most of my friends and I had short hair, cropped very close.
Yep. Bouncer third base. As he played for Chapman, Odor going to try for third. The throw behind him in time, and it turns into a double play. Well, nothing routine about that, but a nice play by both Chapman and Olsen to return it across the diamond.
Yeah, we'll see if he's safe or not, but safe or not, that's not a good play to try to get to third base after 2 are out. You don't have enough to gain, and the risk is that you lose a man in scoring position that may have scored with the next hitter.
Yeah,
That's going to stand.
A 5-3-6 double play. I don't see that one too often. We've played 1.5. Rangers lead 1-0. So back to play here in the bottom of the second inning after a difficult double play. 1-0 Rangers leading. Chris Davis starting things off here for Oakland, and always a dangerous hitter, a guy who's a threat against any team, but the Rangers know his story all too well. You see the numbers. Very good power hitter. But the damage he has done to the Rangers, not just this year, but going back to last year as well. Times you look at the numbers and you think, well, that can't quite be. Breaking ball fouled away, and the count 1-2.
Yeah, he's one home run hitter that most people don't know, but he's the best home run hitter in baseball over the last two seasons, last year and thus far this year, more than Stanton. Not many people know that, but he's not going to hit a home run right there. He got blown away by a good fastball. He's 2 for his last 27 with 13 strikeouts. So over the last 7 games, he has been struggling.
Well, that's a real big out for Nick Martinez. Now going back to the way the top of the inning ended, Rangers had Odor at second base with 1 out and a ground ball to third. He was thrown out at third base in the back end of a double play, and Adrian Beltre didn't like it.
Well, I think Adrian's telling him pretty much what we said, that with 2 outs, there's not enough to be gained by going to third base. And he did it in a constructive way. Rugi's a very aggressive player, and you don't ever want to take that away from him. He's just reminding him that in that situation, there's not enough to be gained by getting to third base with 2 outs. You can't score on a sacrifice fly. Obviously, there are ways you can score, but they don't outweigh the risk of being thrown out to end the inning and not give, in this case, Drew Robinson a chance to hit with a man on second base. Kind of a baseball axiom. Don't get thrown out at third base for the last out of an inning. And I think Adrian, in a nice way, was just reminding him of that. And that kind of constructive advice, I think, is always best delivered by a teammate. Coaches do it, managers do it, but I think it really hits home, especially from someone as well respected as Adrian. And again, if that's what they were talking about, I'm making that assumption. Could have been something entirely different.
Well, odds are you're probably right. That would seem to be the case as Joyce takes the walk. So first base runner of the night for Oakland. And it brings up Ryan Healy. That's a calculated speculation, right? I mean,
Right. It would make sense that that's what they were talking about, especially the way he kind of tapped him on the head and just reminding him now, nothing wrong with being aggressive. We love that about you. But at the same time, there are times when that's not in play.
And we've seen Adrian do that for Elvis last year. I remember last year correcting Elvis a couple of times on some base running. When you were playing, was there a guy in particular who was good at delivering that kind of criticism or critique?
I think on Ranger teams the first couple of years, the one guy that probably would do that would have been Jim Fregosi. Jim Fregosi was a veteran player at the time, went on to be a major league manager. He'd probably be one guy that would do that. But when you play for Billy Martin, you wouldn't have to wait for Jim Fregosi to come up and talk to you. You would already find out about that.
Good breaking ball for a strike to Healy. It's 1-2. But Ted Williams, when he was the manager, was he quick to point that stuff out?
Not really. Not really. I never felt that Ted even wanted to be a manager. I think Bob Short talked him into it. That would be the kind of thing on that team that Wayne Terwilliger, our third base coach, or Nellie Fox, another one of our good breaking ball, another one of our coaches would be very likely to discuss with you. Of course, Nellie was a Hall of Famer, great second baseman with the White Sox, and Wayne Terwilliger was a longtime minor league manager, excellent middle infielder in the big leagues. Both of those guys very intelligent baseball people. So if that kind of a play ever came up on one of those teams, those would probably be the two people that would discuss it with you. And having played on a team with both of those guys, I think they probably would have done it just like Adrian Beltre did it. There's no need. The player pretty much knows, but may need to be reminded. And yelling at him in that particular case doesn't make any sense, especially for a guy like Rugi, who's out there playing his heart out every minute of every game.
Well, 3 strikeouts so far tonight for Nick Martinez. Matt Joyce, the base runner at first base, and Matt Olson takes one high. It's 2-0. Olson, left-handed hitting first baseman, .242 average with 8 home runs. Swinging away, looks this one out to left field. Looks like it's playable though. Robinson is there and it completes the inning. No runs, a man left at first. We've played 2 so far tonight. Nick Martinez pitching the Rangers to a 1-0 lead. Brought to you by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. And by Ford. Visit your local Texas Ford dealer now during the Ford Summer Sales Event and see why Ford is the best in Texas.
From the East Bay in Oakland as we go to the third inning. Rangers with a 1-0 lead. Drew Robinson starting off this third inning. .231 batting average, 4 home runs, a big home run yesterday. Like Drew yesterday hit the 2-run shot in the third. In a ball game the Rangers would go on and win 3-0. Took that series from Anaheim 3-1. That one a near miss.
By far the best part of these players' weekend uniforms, right there, the socks.
You're digging that.
That is looking good. Boy, I love
Look at
that. I think we ought to go with that full time. I think Players Weekend is such a good idea. They ought to adopt this kind of style for the uniforms all the time.
It's like Willy Wonka's chocolate factory or something.
Great.
His shoes, the shoes also have some sort of crazy thing going on, like multicolored balloons or something.
You're welcome to wear and express yourself with all your equipment, whether it's the shoes, compression sleeves, you name it. This is the weekend where you can wear it. Love the color of the hats too. Variation of the red hat.
Well, here's Delano to Shields after the strikeout of Robinson. Tony Beasley, you know, a little more work when you're in Oakland as a base coach, getting the balls to the fans on those fouls.
Yeah, it's the only place you have to warm up before the game to get the ball far enough to get it in the seats.
Delano singled in the first inning and scored a run. What do you know? That's what he seems to do, get on base and score. Rangers have had all kinds of success with him in the lineup. Bouncer third base, that one through into left field, base hit. He's 2 for 2 tonight.
Well, that's about as well as you can locate a ground ball. Just past the diving Chapman. And once it gets by him, it's a hit. Doesn't matter what Semien does. He can catch it all he wants, but he's not going to throw it. Chapman might have had a chance if he jumped up quickly and threw a strike to first. A good start to the game for Delano. Delano has now started 13 straight games.
He is on, always a threat to run. Those 2 hits tonight matched the total number of hits he had in that series against the Angels. He was 2 for 17 in that one, but he had also walked, hit by a pitch. Chu up there, fouls one straight down. Chu struck out in the first inning. And Chu had a good series against the Angels, 7 hits and 17 at bat, so he was very productive down in Los Angeles. A couple of doubles in there. Rangers had a great homestand, won 7 of 10. They just took 3 of 4 from one of the ball clubs just above them in the wild card race and came into play today, a game back of the second wild card spot. Jeff Bannister has been maintaining for a long time that even though a couple of trades at the deadline saw players going the other way, that this team wasn't ready to give up. They weren't going to mail anything in. And indeed, they have fought themselves right back into the conversation.
Well, one of the trades was Jonathan Lucroy being traded away. And the best thing about that trade has been the performance of Brett Nicholas and Robinson Chirinos. They've played great. They've played well behind the plate. They've worked with the pitchers.
And together they formed an outstanding tandem for an offense from a catcher. The Rangers have actually picked up steam after that trade. They're a better team now than they were before it.
Strike 3 called on Chu. 4th strikeout for Kendall Graveman. All right, with 2 away and a man on, Elvis Andrus comes to the plate. And we check in with John Radigan.
Yeah, in addition to those nicknames, each player has a thank you patch on their sleeve, guys, and each guy wrote their own little name on the thank you patch. For Elvis, it was El Oso. Our State Farm winning combination is that name. It's translated, it means the bear, but it's really the only organized team Elvis played for as a youth in Venezuela, and it was founded by his father. So his dad founded the team, he played for it, and it's a winning combination, and he says it is the combination that made him the player he is today. A fitting tribute to that team and his late father, guys.
Bouncer third base. And Chapman across the diamond in time takes care of Andrus, and the inning is done. Yeah, that's pretty cool this Players Weekend. Having some fun as we've played 2.5. Rangers lead 1-0. And looking every bit like the guy that has dominated in his career in this ballpark for whatever reason. Just missed with his first pitch fastball there to Chapman. Now Chapman, 225 average. 9 home runs, and when they start looking at some of the young players here in Oakland who might make up a good future core for them, the name that a lot of people continue to bring up is this guy, Chapman. That's been a bit of a struggle for him lately. Last 15 games hitting just a bit over 200, 24 strikeouts, but when he has made contact, he's hit for pretty decent power. Homers, doubles, extra base hits. He's ahead here, 3-1. Popped out of play, so a full count. Martinez is allowed just the one base runner. And there's strike three called, his fourth strikeout of the night. All right, time for a Chevy game break. Let's check in with Dana Larson. All right, thanks, Dana. Nothing wrong with teams helping out a little bit in the wild card race. Cleveland Indians helping out by taking care of the Kansas City Royals today. And here's Bruce Maxwell. Bouncer third base. Nice easy hop for Adrian Beltre, 2 away. Well, we invite you to come on out to the ballpark for Star Wars Weekend. The first 15,000 fans to the ballpark on Saturday, September 2nd are going to get a Rangers Star Wars bobblehead courtesy of Globe Life Insurance. The Rangers take on the Angels. 6:15 game, and you can get your tickets at TexasRangers.com or by calling 972-RANGERS. All right, one time through the order, and Nick Martinez has been spot on tonight. 34 pitches needed.
He's had good pitches working for him tonight. Good location with his fastball. We talked about before the game started that when Nick is pitching one of his better games, it's because he's able to locate his fastball, pound it in on the corners to both left-handed and right-handed hitters, and he's done that pretty well today. But he's moved it around. He just hasn't done that. And he's also had a good curveball. Struck out Healy with a really good curveball in the second inning.
Well, that didn't miss by much. 3-0 to Boog Powell, who struck out in the first. Well, among the things he's doing well tonight, he's pitching with conviction. Gets that ball back, has an idea what he wants to do. This time he misses and he walks Boog Powell. Second free pass issued by Martinez, and now he'll have to contend with Marcus Semien. Semien's season numbers aren't going to wow you, but he's been hot lately, and he launches this one out to left field, carrying pretty well toward the wall, but not far enough. Robinson is there and tucks it away for the final out of the inning. So the A's leave another man. We've played 3 complete tonight. Rangers lead 1-0. Rangers. So we go to the 4th inning, and tonight's Cold Hard Facts brought to you by Clean, Crisp Coors Light. Adrian Beltre, how about these numbers? 42 doubles, 38 home runs, 130 RBIs, all against Oakland. And those are the most by any active player against the A's.
Adrian would have a lot of at-bats against Oakland, having played 5 years in Seattle and a number of years now with the Rangers. An unbalanced schedule. Play 19 games against the other teams in our division.
Yeah, that puts him in a pretty good advantage for these kinds of things.
And most of the times when you see that kind of a stat, it's usually someone in that division. And Graveman's doing a nice job today of keeping the ball away from the middle of the plate. I'll say that for him. Most of them are down and away to the right-hand hitters, but there has not been a lot of good pitches to hit. When they have been, they've hit them. They've hit some pretty good pitches too.
In fact, Beltre had one of them, and it was a grounder through the left side, and that one brought home the game's only run. Got DeShields home from second base in the first. 2-2.
The hard hit balls. DeShields had a line drive in the first, but that was a really good pitch down and away. Elvis ripped one up the middle. That was one of the few really good pitches to hit. The other hits had not been hit that hard. But if you're Graveman, you have to do that too. You have to run that sinker in on the fists just to keep the hitters from leaning out over the plate for the ones low and away.
Strike 3 called. Beltre down looking, and Graveman has been able to do that a little bit tonight. Same kind of thing he did to Chu last inning.
Don't know if that's a strike from our angle. Looked like a cutter though that came back and touched the inside corner. Graveman has always pitched better at home than on the road. This year his ERA at home is .297. And in his career, it's about almost a run and quite a run and a half better at home than it is on the road.
One away for Mazzara, who bounced into a double play. And our Kubota power stats. Well, Kendall Graveman. How about that, Tom? He's not lost in his last 6 starts at home after, to your point, previously losing 10 of 24 home starts. Bouncer, this one through the right side for Mazzara. Rangers with another base hit, another base runner in this one.
Graveman gives up a lot of runs in the first inning. He gave up another one today. His ERA in the first inning is around 10. After that, he gets much tougher. That's finding a hole with a ground ball. Rangers have been able to do that a few times.
So 1 out, 1 on for Mike Napoli. Napoli struck out in the second inning. He's 0 for 1. We're in the 4th inning, a 1-0 ball game. Rangers have been playing some lower scoring games on this trip, and they've been winning those low scoring games. '27 home runs this year for Napoli, 60 RBIs. I mentioned it earlier, but in a series these two played back in Arlington in April 8th. I think it was just the second weekend of the regular season. Graveman took a no-hitter into the 7th inning, and it was Napoli who broke it up with a home run. He's going for it there, 2-1. Graveman can be pretty good. Recently reinstated from the DL August 3rd. This is his 5th start since coming off the DL. It was shortly after that great performance at Globe Life Park in April that he had to go to the disabled list for the first time. That was in mid-April. It was a strained right shoulder. He came back off the DL, made 5 starts, went to the disabled list again. So he's been off and on several times this year. 2-2. Strike 3 called, and he's done it again. That's 3 strikeouts all called in these last 2 innings. 4 total.
Well, he's making some perfect pitches, getting the calls on him too. And one is just barely touching the inside corner, and then another one in the same at bat is barely touching the outside corner. They're both strikes, but to the hitter, it sure seems like the plate is much wider than it is.
Well, when they were talking about maybe adjusting the strike zone a little bit this last offseason, maybe raising it, right? Remember that conversation? It's always been talk about changing the strike zone a touch to change the way the game is played. But I've heard hitters talk about this. They're like, you can't call both corners on, right? If you call both corners, if you widen the zone, then I have no shot. If you want to say, hey, we're going to call higher strikes, okay, I can get to that. But I can't protect the inside and be able to get to the outside.
Well, that's true if the pitches are off the plate. But if both pitches are barely touching the corners, I mean, those are strikes. And so the umpire should call both those pitches strikes. I think what a hitter's saying is if you're going to give a guy a pitch a couple of inches outside or a couple of inches inside, generally you never see that, but an inch outside, then it's very difficult to get the other call on the other side of the plate. But if they're both strikes, it seems like a huge strike zone, but technically they're both strikes.
Well, he's been able to command both sides of it tonight, but he still trails 1-0. Rangers, though, with the 1-0 lead, and you can celebrate Hispanic Heritage Night with your Texas Rangers on Friday, September 8th, presented by El Rancho Supermercado. Rangers taking on the New York Yankees, a 7:05 game. Come on out to the ballpark early, enjoy live music on the concourse, and you can get your tickets now at TexasRangers.com for Hispanic Heritage Night. All right, so now to the bottom of the 4th inning here at the Coliseum. That'll be the 3, 4, and 5 hitters for Oakland. Jed Lowry starting things off against Nick Martinez. Right-handers look pretty good tonight. Leaves that one up to the switch hitting second baseman. Lowry having a pretty good year. Second in the American League with 38 doubles. And shoots this one down the left field line, slicing foul. Long run out there for Robinson, and into that side he can't quite get to it.
No, he timed it perfectly and tried to catch it the only way he could. There's no way you can keep running on your feet and try to catch that ball because you're going to go full speed right into the side of the wall. So he waited as long as he could to slide to try to get as close to the ball as he could. And then you risk sliding so hard into the wall you jam your knee. And he hit that wall pretty hard. Hopefully Drew's okay. Great try. Drew's one of those guys that has excellent baseball instincts. You put him at any position and he looks like that's the position that he plays.
He's going to get another shot here. This bloop out into short left field. He won't get to it, but Andrus does. And a nice play by Elvis Andrus to take in out number 1.
Yeah, that's as far as I've seen Elvis go to make a catch. He had to have every ounce of his speed, get a good jump, and run it down. That was a nice play. And he's the only one that could get to it. Watch where he is. He's shading up the middle, and look how far he has to go to catch this ball. Adrian's not going to be able to get to it. Drew was playing out in left field. He couldn't get to it. So it's up to Elvis, and he knew it. He made a beautiful play.
Well, one away, and here is Chris Davis. Davis struck out in the second inning. Fourth in the American League with 34 home runs, also fourth in RBIs. That's an A's team almost 20 games under 500, 55 and 72 coming in. They trail the Astros by 22 games in the division. And one of the very few American League teams really not in any sort of postseason conversation. Well struck ball out to left, and that one is gone. Just clears the yellow stripe out there in left field. Davis had just enough to get his 35th home run of the year, and he ties this game at 1.
He's a strong guy. That pitch, I think Nick was probably fairly happy with that pitch. It was down and away. I don't think Davis got it on the barrel of the bat, slightly toward the end of the bat, but still was able to sneak it 360 feet over the fence. Yeah, it came back a little bit toward the middle of the plate, but still he shows the kind of power he has. Line drive, just skimmed over the top of the wall. 42 home runs last year. 35 so far this year.
That is pretty impressive. 388 feet. Left the bat at 102 miles per hour. So that one ties it. And the count 1-1 to Matt Joyce.
That's one of those at bats where it really shows how important it is to get ahead of a power hitter if you're going to throw him a fastball 2-0. Now you get ahead. Davis had struck out 13 times in his last 27 at bats, but anyone is a different hitter when it's 2-0. You look for a fastball, you get a fastball.
Little comebacker, and Nick Martinez will shovel it over to first. 2 away. Fox Sports Supports is proud to team up with Girls on the Run and their dedication to empowering young girls and instilling confidence through running. Learn more about how you can get involved this fall by visiting foxsportsupports.com. Two out now. And it brings up Ryan Healy. First pitch, and Healy loops it out towards second, and Odor, who started in, had to go back, but makes the play, and it completes the inning. A solo home run, though, by Chris Davis has tied it up. We go to the 5th. inning tonight. Robinson Chirinos will start things off for the Rangers. Well, commemorate this inaugural Players Weekend at MLBshop.com with limited edition Rangers jerseys and tees featuring player pick nicknames. Wear the gear the players are wearing on field this weekend. Available while supplies last at MLBshop.com and the Rangers team stores. All right, Robinson Chirinos ready to start things off here in the 5th inning. Then Drew Robinson and back up top for Delano DeShields. Chirinos bounced into a rare double play, an unusual double play. Grounded out to third base. Was thrown out at first, but then Odor trying to advance from second base was in caught on the back end. This ball lifted high in the air out to left field. Not going to carry deep enough, however, is Powell able to get back there. There's one away. All right, so for some more on this Players Weekend and Pelo Buche and company, let's check in with John Radigan.
Yeah, one of my favorite nicknames is that guy's nickname. A.J. Griffin on the back of his jersey. You can't see it because of the sweat top. It says Sweet Lettuce. There you go, Sweet Lettuce. Now, it's a reference to his hair, and you won't believe who he says was the first one who called him Sweet Lettuce. That would be Rangers GM John Daniels. And you can almost see on AJ's thank you patch there, he wrote a book, thanked Mom and Dad, Tim and Kathy, and he thanked everyone who mentored him along the way in and out of baseball. And everybody knows our own Tom Greaves' nickname. That would be Tag. So I throw it back up to Tag and Flash. Dave, Flash.
Things happen, Rads. Things happen. When you're terrible at things, people call you stuff. 2-0 to Drew Robinson. Chirinos flying out to center. One out here in the 5th inning. Like Kendall Graveman's nickname on the back of his jersey, Digger. His college teammates, little play off his last name, Graveman. It's 3-1. You have a lot of those kind of stories, right? Well, that's what I was called in college. That's what the guys did, right? And then you have the other ones like Sweet Lettuce. Where you're like, what happened there? Robinson with a base hit into center field, and he is on with one out.
Yeah, well, it was a great concept, the Players Weekend, because it gives really nice insight into a lot of the players that fans might not have known about, how they got their nicknames. It lets them express themselves in the way they wear their uniforms. I think the uniforms are really identifiable with kids. That's what they're tailor-made after. They don't button down or zip down. They're pullovers. They're meant to look like youth league uniforms. So it's a great idea. I think it's a great idea for the players to have fun with it. Different colors. It's fun for the fans to watch. The Little League World Series game, where the Cardinals and the Pirates played in the minor league park, was fun to watch. The big league players watching the little leaguers play. The little leaguer idolized the players getting their autographs. And that was a fun weekend. I think we talked about this before. It was just as much fun for the big league players as it was for the minor league players, and several of them had played in the Little League World Series before. And that was a nice weekend. All in all, it's a terrific idea, and I'm sure they will continue to do it. The game-worn jerseys will be sold, and the benefits from that go to celebrate youth baseball in the United States and Canada. So it goes to a good cause. All in all, it's a great weekend. It's fun. I got to learn that your nickname is Flash. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But Graveman is just going out of his way to keep the ball down, away, in, on the corners. Lance Barksdale is recognizing that, I think, and giving him a fairly liberal strike zone to go along with it.
Yeah, that has certainly helped. Barksdale, who does pose a certain similarity to a great movie character. See if he takes off his mask a little bit later on. But Mr. Hand from Fast Times at Ridgemont High, he's a pretty good look-alike.
The uniforms, actually, for people that would be interested, will be auctioned at MLB.com auctions. 100% of the proceeds go to youth development. Joint effort by MLB and the Players Association. So those would be some pretty cool items to get.
They should have had the umpires put nicknames on there.
Yeah. They should have gone back to the old days where the umpires had those giant chest protectors that they held in front of themselves.
Runner going, and there's a line drive up the middle, caught by Lowry, back to first, and in time. Wow. Seen that twice on this road trip. Remember the man in motion. The line drive results in the double play. We go to the bottom of the fifth.
TNT high-speed replay. We don't have to go back very far. A line shot by Delino to Shields with Drew Robinson on the run turns in to a double play. Our AT&T high-speed replay. Lowry almost threw the ball over the first baseman's head, but the first baseman, Matt Olson, was able to get back to the bag and tag it before Robinson got back. But for Delino, almost his third hit of the game. Nice job of hitting to a ball down and away. He went the other way with it. Unfortunately, it was hit right at Jed Lowry.
Lowry's so excited, I think, in the moment, thinking, wow, I got him.
Yeah, he actually had a lot more time to stop, plant his foot, and throw. He threw it on the run.
So Martinez back to work in the bottom of the fifth inning, a 1-1 game. It's the bottom third of the order here in the fifth, and this one's a little bit in. 2-1 to Matt Olson. Olson, Matt Chapman, and then Bruce Maxwell. Been basically 3 months since the Rangers had seen Oakland, and vice versa, which is just kind of an oddity when you play in the same division. We have the unbalanced schedule where you play 19 head-to-head games each summer, but these two teams have taken a long break from one another. What that means is they're going to have a lot of games left here in these remaining few weeks of the season. 2-2. Did he go? Yes, he did on appeal. That's a strikeout of Olson. one away here in the 5th inning.
A good job right there by Nick Martinez, moving the fastball in, then moving it away. Borderline pitch up and away, and let's see the side view. And it was pretty close, but it looked like Olsen went. 5 strikeouts for Nick, throwing the ball really nice today.
Keeping that pitch count in check. Here is Chapman, who struck out looking in the 3rd. A good breaking ball. Chapman just a .225 hitter so far this year. As we were saying earlier, just have good power. Drives the ball well. Gets this ball high in the air out to right field, though. Not going to carry deep enough for him. Mazzara puts it away for out number 2. All right, time for a Chevy game break. Let's check in again with Dana Larson.
Now batting, the catcher, number 13, Baby Prince Maxwell.
All right, yeah, thanks, Dana. A 1-1 game here. Maxwell steps in, takes strike 1. Well, updated wild card standings. Rangers 1.5 out up to the moment after Minnesota gets that victory today. The Twins getting another excellent pitching performance today from Bartolo Colon to get that win. Bartolo Colon is going to end up being quite a factor down the stretch in this thing. A 6-1 win over Toronto. Colon went 6 2/3, allowed a run on 9 hits. This ball hit out to left field. Back on it is Robinson, and the inning is done. A 1-2-3 for Nick Martinez. We go to the 6th inning. Shin-Soo Choo will start things off. Elvis Andrus to follow, and then it'll be up to Adrian Beltre. Drive-in, our jackpot tonight, $600 plus dinner for 2 at Sonic Drive-In. Gordon Spradley from Humble is our contestant today. If a Ranger hits a home run, then Gordon will win $600. If it's a grand slam, it will win an additional $25,000. Good luck, Gordon. And I imagine in Humble and nearby spots, he is bunkering down tonight. As this fly ball by Choo, playable out in left field, and Davis puts it away. All right, tomorrow's AT&T pitching matchup, middle game of this series. Cole Hamels back to the hill for the Rangers. 9-1 this year. And Sean Manaea brings his 8-8 record to the mound for Oakland. Ramos has been so good lately. So that should be fun tomorrow afternoon. Our coverage beginning at 2:30 here on Fox Sports Southwest with our pregame show. Andrews 1 for 2, and he takes one out of the inside corner for a strike. Graveman has done a pretty good job tonight. Pitch count now at 78 as he works in this 6th inning. Bouncing ball, that one into left field, base hit for Andrews. So yes, his 2nd base hit of the night. Rangers starting to pile up the hits, but still have just the 1 run to show for it. They have 8 hits tonight compared to just the 1 for Oakland.
Well, twice the sinker from Graveman has come back toward the middle of the plate against Elvis, and both times he ripped it. One he hit right back up the middle, and that one he ripped into left field. He's right on the ball tonight.
All right, here's Beltre. Drove in the Rangers' only run in the 1st inning. 1 for 2. And he takes a strike.
Another example of that liberal strike zone. Those balls, a lot of those balls aren't strikes. I mean, he's throwing a lot of them down there, but that's not a strike. I keep throwing it down there too.
Yeah. That one a little bit lower. It's 1-1. Hey, we were talking about the Rangers uniform earlier tonight on this Players Weekend. How about the colors and the look tonight for Oakland?
I love the A's.
This ball hit well, high in the air though to center field, and not going to carry for Beltre. Powell's there, and they're 2 away.
Yeah, the shade yellow looks like a little bit brighter, just like the Ranger red is a little bit different than the traditional red that they wear. Yeah, I love their uniforms. No one's got their socks up. Well, no, they do. Chris Davis does. They look, can't tell from here. He's got his pants up to see his socks. They don't look.
It doesn't look
like the
he
colorful socks the Rangers have.
Yeah, there he is.
Got some pattern on it. There it is. Pretty cool. I think if I was in the market for a big league uniform, I'd probably lean toward one of these.
Yeah, you mean looking for a little piece to add to the
I'd
collection
want something
or something?
different. Yeah,
sure.
I was going to buy one to my favorite player to wear to the ballpark. I'd be looking into one of these.
Well, big swing by Mazzara, but not going to carry deep to center. And the inning is done. Rangers leave another man. Another hit off Graveman, but he continues to navigate around him. It's a 1-1 game. 6th. And Oakland sending Powell, Simeon, and Lowry here against Nick Martinez. Both starters doing a really nice job so far. Martinez with 5 strikeouts through 5 innings and a very low pitch count. 3rd time through the order, and he dumps one right in there to Powell for a strike. Boog Powell struck out in the 1st, walked in the 3rd inning, and bounces this one into the hole short. Long throw for Andrews, but in plenty of time, 1 away. Hey, the long-awaited super fight between Floyd Mayweather and Conor McGregor is here. And tomorrow it starts on Fox with a special pre-fight show at 5 o'clock, followed by a huge prelims card at 6 p.m. And after the super fight, don't miss the post-fight commentary and interviews on FS1. Marcus Semien, 0 for 2, he takes a strike. So tomorrow's the big fight, Tom, and I know most of the afternoon you're on your phone with your bookie trying to figure out exactly how much to place on that one.
Now I'm trying to decide whether I should donate the money to the cause and watch it. I think I'm going to watch it. I feel like I'm getting suckered into watching it, though. You know, I don't want to be a sucker. I don't mind paying the money and watching it. I just don't want to feel like I'm being duped. One of millions of people who paid the money and said, I knew that was going to happen.
So here's the thing, right? We're all suckers every day, somehow or another. But if you get a little enjoyment, even if it's just, you know, just getting excited about it.
Well, the only way I can feel like I was suckered into it is if Mayweather lands every single punch and the other guy never lands a punch, because that's what every expert's saying is going to happen. And if that happens, I'll be happy because I want Mayweather to win.
Well, I
especially
thought we might,
after watching the weigh-in.
I thought we might get some punches today. Here was the weigh-in earlier today.
And I'm not going to put Floyd Mayweather at the top of my favorite list, but I'm rooting for him in this fight. I don't like to see someone from another sport. I want to see boxing stand up for itself and see Mayweather. We'll see if he's quite as chipper tomorrow night when that fight's over.
Well, that's a whole lot of crazy right there. But so, you got to be to get in the ring and do that to one another, though.
Yeah.
Got to have a little edge.
You obviously didn't get duped if Mayweather loses. The only way you get duped is if it's just no contest and it's everything most people think it's going to be, and you paid for it to watch something that everyone knew what was going to happen. Then you got duped. But if the other guy beats Mayweather, then if you paid for it, you can say, whoa, I saw something that I didn't expect to see.
2-strike pitch. Very high to Jed Lowry. 2 away here in the 6th inning. Yeah, well, I mean, right now, I don't get the sense. The conversation seems to be everybody's kind of like us, confused.
Yeah.
Not sure what to expect.
I haven't pressed the button to pay for it yet, so I don't know if I'm going to or not. Actually, the smart thing to do is find someone else that paid for it and go watch his.
Well, we could always, you know, we could always find an establishment charging a small cover.
Yeah, if I watch it, it's going to be on my iPad in my room. I'm not going anywhere with those maniacs watching it. No, that's not my gig. It might have been when I was 25, but it's not now.
Tell you what, I'll buy. We'll go out. No, we'll get. We'll get
too old for the whole scene. People will be going, "What the heck is that guy doing here?"
You'd stop the show. You'd walk in there, everybody says, "Tom Grieve." America's guest.
No, they'd go, who is that with the flash?
There'd be a lot of things said, and I don't think either of those things would be what would uttered, but 2-2 pitch off the plate, full count on Lowry. Well, there's been the Davis home run and 2 walks. That is all Nick Martinez has allowed the A's so far. It's full count.
whatever happens in this fight, it can't be as bad as when Muhammad Ali fought the, what was it, a sumo guy?
Yeah.
Or whatever it was. That, I mean, that was a farce.
Well, I was not, that was before my ability to really get engaged in that kind of a thing. But I've only seen, you know, little snippets and pictures.
I don't think
and
they even
articles.
fought. Neither one really wanted to fight. This fight tomorrow, both of those guys really want to fight.
They do.
There's no doubt there's going to be maximum effort on the part of both guys. So it's, you know, there's no risk in that. And if it turns out that it is a farce and Mayweather lands every punch, I'll be happy. So there, I'm forking it over.
The 3-2. And this one lifted down the left field line and playable. Robinson is there. So we go to the 7th inning tonight. How about this one? A 1-1 game. Back at San Francisco, Bay Bridge, heading into Oakland. A 1-1 game here in the top of the 7th inning. It is Players Weekend. Can we buy one of those? Can we get a John Radigan Rads jersey?
Yeah, you know, I swear, I feel like it's really such a boring nickname, especially when I'm taking it from The Flash, right? Rads is just so predictable, but there it is. That's the nickname. That's the universal one. Hey, I wanted to update you guys quickly on Carlos Gomez. He's eligible to come off the disabled list tomorrow, and he says he is ready. The critical part is he's been swinging the bat hard in each of the last 2 days, and he says he does feel it, and in fact, the incision where that cyst was removed was bleeding just a little bit, but he says that is expected. There are internal stitches. He says it feels like they're pulling apart just a little bit when he swings hard, but he's ready to go. Manny's hedging his bet just a little bit, but don't be surprised if Carlos Gomez is back in the lineup tomorrow, guys.
Well, and you know he wants to do everything he can to get back, and you appreciate that, but discretion's sometimes a better part of valor. We'll see if they give him an extra day or whatever, but I will say Manny today certainly indicated that the second he's ready, he's going to be back in there. This one down low to Napoli. It's 2-1. Couple of strikeouts tonight for Napoli. Always a chance that he would run into one. In the 2-1 pitch, he hits this ball to shortstop, and Simeon all kinds of time. Well, that just obliterated the bat. Napoli grounds out, one away in the 7th inning.
Didn't look like he hit it that bad. Wasn't off the end of the bat. Really didn't look like it was that far down on the handle, but that bat didn't have a chance. Like termites ate through that bat.
Well, that's all better there. He
there
fixed it.
Tape it up and go
Not
use
that
it.
big a deal. Well, here is Odor. 1 for 2. Odor with the only extra base hit tonight for the Rangers. That double in the 7th inning, or rather 2nd inning. And it is 2-0. This has been Graveman's story tonight. He's fallen behind many a Rangers hitter. And we've said it earlier. I mean, he's given up 8 hits, but he's just found his way around them for the most part. He has not had a 1-2-3 inning tonight. And this ball hit well out to right field, but Joyce is going to be there. And there are 2 gone. It is a big yard and a good place to pitch. And both starters tonight, I feel, Nick Martinez and Kendall Graveman, have both kind of taken advantage of it.
Now batting for 61, Hello Boucher, Chirinos.
And so here comes Robinson Chirinos. 7th inning, a 1-1 ball game, opening game of this 3-game series here in Oakland. Rangers got over 500 yesterday with their victory in Los Angeles, 3-0 over the Angels. That got their record to 64 and 63. And overnight, they sat just 1 game back of the 2nd wild card spot. We mentioned earlier, Twins did win today, so for the moment it's a 1.5 game difference, Rangers to the Twins. Minnesota's just flat out playing good baseball these days. Chirinos fouls this one off. No one will give chase. It's 1-1. After this series this weekend, the Rangers have Monday off, and they are scheduled to spend that off day in Houston. The reality is that that just may not happen. We're then to begin a 3-game series Tuesday night in Houston, but with Hurricane Harvey hitting shore tonight and at a Category 4 hurricane, and all the stories and the predictions, the modeling, etc., make it seem increasingly unlikely that the Rangers would head in there Sunday night, and call into question just exactly when we will or where we will play that series. Swing and a miss makes it 2-2 on Chirinos.
Looks like a rare curveball from Graveman. Almost every pitch is a sinker with an occasional cutter. Like he threw more of a curveball right there. Pretty good one too.
Chirinos shoots this one out toward right field. Joyce racing back, looking up, and that one is high off the fence and bounces away from Joyce. Around second, Chirinos. He'll head to third, and he has an easy stand-up triple. First of the year for Chirinos. Rangers have the go-ahead run 90 feet away.
Yeah, Robinson's had some good swings today. He just got underneath one when he flied out to center field the last time up. That's a pretty good pitch. Down and away and sinking. Well, one thing we're noticing tonight is the ball just doesn't really appear to be carrying all that well. It's kind of damp, cold air, no wind. I think that ball might have had a pretty good chance to be a home run in our ballpark. Well, Drew's had some big hits the last couple of days. He had a base hit in the 3-run game-winning rally the Rangers had 2 days ago. And he had the big home run yesterday.
Well, Tapper back to the mound, but Robinson thrown out to end the inning. So the Rangers lead that go-ahead run at third base. They'll stand and stretch here tonight. It's a 1-1 game.
All right, A's fans, it's now
7th inning. What our four-game summary tonight. You compare the lines for these two starting pitchers. Different approaches. Nick Martinez just been very stingy. In fact, how about this? He's thrown 8 pitches out of the stretch tonight. Kendall Graveman has given up plenty of hits, but only the 1 run. Great pitchers duel so far here tonight. And now Chris Davis and Matt Joyce and Ryan Healy in this 7th inning. Davis had the home run in the 4th. That tied the game. His 35th home run of the year. .0 for Martinez. And that's a strike. Nick Martinez back in the rotation, recalled from AAA Round Rock to make the start today in the rotation for Tyson Ross, who has been moved to the bullpen. One and 2 now on Davis. Gave the Rangers an opportunity to move A.J. Griffin back a couple of days. So Cole Hamels will pitch in his regular rotation tomorrow, but Griffin, given the extra time, he will start on Sunday. This one lifted out to center field. The Shields racing back near the wall. It is gone. Chris Davis with his 2nd home run of the game. And the Rangers continue to struggle with the A's left fielder. It's 2-1 Oakland.
The first time up he hit a fastball. That time he hit a curveball. That ball jumps off his bat. Ball not carrying all that well tonight. And he reaches out for this curveball down a little bit out over the plate and just shot it 400 feet off the wall in center field. Coming into the game, he was 2 for 26 with 12 strikeouts in his last 6 games. Now against the Rangers in 28 games, he's hit 15 home runs and knocked in 31 runs.
He has untied this game. Oakland with their first lead of the night. Matt Joyce, who is 0 for 1 with a walk, takes a strike.
He's the only one on the team with a hit. Unfortunately, with both home runs.
Martinez continues to battle. It's 0-2. Very high. Martinez a couple of walks and then those 2 hits. And that is all. Jose Leclerc getting ready out in the bullpen. Nick still well shy of 90 pitches for the night. 2-2. Martinez, he's given up 22 home runs this year in 86 innings. Look at the numbers. He doesn't strike out a lot of guys. That's not a big part of the gig for him, but in the strike zone enough that he's been squared up a few times. A 3-2 pitch. This ball hit well out toward right field, but Mazzara leaps up, and that one just past him and up against the fence. Joyce goes for 2, and he's in there standing with a double.
Well hit ball by Joyce. Looked like Nomar might get to it. He almost did. He lunged and just couldn't quite get his glove on it. Tell you what, maybe a foot over his glove.
So a man at second base, that's Joyce. Brings up Ryan Healy. We're talking about pitches from the stretch tonight for Martinez. Only 8 of them. This is just the second pitch from the stretch since the 2nd inning for him. So he's been able just to get right up on top of that rubber and go after guys tonight. Now we'll see how he works around this double by Joyce. Healy is 0 for 2. Bounces this one third base. Beltre hooks the runner back. And there is one gone. Well, speaking of Adrian Beltre, coming out to Globe Life Park on September 8th and 9th for Beltre Weekend. You can get a commemorative Beltre 3K hat using the special theme night link at texasrangers.com/Beltre 3K. Get your tickets for Beltre Weekend today. Celebrate his 3,000 hits all weekend long. That'll be a good time. Here's Matt Olson. Olson is 0 for 2. 90th pitch of the night. And it's taken for a ball and throw back to second. Joyce back in there easily. A home run this inning by Chris Davis has given Oakland their first lead of the night. Martinez, though, has pitched a beauty so far. Good block by Chirinos. Rangers rolling into town late last night, early this morning. After a big 4 days in Los Angeles. 3 of 4 from the Angels. Those were intense games. Both teams just doing whatever they can to stay alive in the wild card race. And you come here to Oakland with a team that's rebuilding, maybe playing a little looser. Quite as much to lose. Some great pitching tonight. Rangers just have not yet broken through against Kendall Graveman. Closer play back at second base.
Been some great throws. Robin Chirinos had a pickoff throw to second that was right on top of the bag, and so was Nick's.
Going the pitch in there for a strike. It's 3-1. This is an A's team that lost a lot of its base stealing threat recently. Rajay Davis traded off to Cleveland, and Bob Melvin will no doubt miss that speed. You look up and down on this roster, there aren't a lot of guys who've done a whole lot of base stealing this year. Joyce with 4 steals out there at second base. But you talk about losing some base stealing production. Davis had 26 steals, the rest of the roster 25 when he was traded just a couple of days ago. Team, though, that has leaned heavily on the home run like so many teams this year. And they have really leaned on it tonight. 2 solo homers by Davis, all their scoring. And a strike 3 called. Olson looked like he was headed down to first base, but he'll head back to the dugout, 2 away.
Looked like a good curveball on the inside corner. We'll take another look at it here and find out. Sure was. Not even on the corner. That's all the way in the strike zone. Good pitch. Didn't go too much right to left. It was pretty much straight down. Stayed in the strike zone all the way.
Well, it's a 2-1 game. Joyce at second base. And with Brocail out there, we've got a chance to take a Chevy game break. Let's check in with Dana. All right, thanks, Dana. Just to be clear, Tom, we're rooting for Houston then tonight.
Yeah,
right?
for
That's
sure.
That's one of the simple ones.
That is. That is. Minnesota won. Kansas City lost. That was good. Seattle came back in extra innings though and beat the Yankees.
Joyce at second. Chapman at the plate, and he takes a strike.
Good curveball for Nick tonight. He's thrown a lot of nice ones for strikes. Overall, excellent outing. Anytime you only give up 3 hits, you pitch pretty well. A couple of walks with 6 strikeouts, 7 strikeouts. You know, Nick was coming off 14 shutout innings in the minor leagues right before he was called up. And 7 starts at AAA, he was 4-0 with a .215 earned run average. So he was throwing the ball really well in AAA. And we've seen him throw the ball really well at times in the big league. So it's nice to see him come back for this start, pitch this well in a big game.
One strike offering to Chapman. Blocked there by Chirinos.
Nice job by Robinson blocking that ball. Hard curveball in the dirt. Joyce thought about it. Was ready to go.
One and 2. So Martinez trying to get this to the 8th inning as a 1-run game. Job right now to strand Joyce out there at second base. The home run by Davis has broken the tie. Rangers will have the top of the order when we do get to the 8th. The 1-2 pitch, and that one bounced just foul.
Roberto Ortiz all over that call. Looked like he was mad at the ball.
Looked like he was trying to fan it foul.
There's no doubt what his call was. Boy, that was just barely foul. He was also right on top of it, had a perfect look at it, and made an emphatic call.
Another 1-2 pitch on the way to Chapman. And he lines this one center field, drops in, base hit. The Shield's up with it. The throw back to the infield, misses the cutoff man. They'll go to second. The tag, got him. But the run will count. Joyce crossed the plate before the tag was placed on Chapman. And that's a big insurance run for the A's. They pick up 2 runs in the 7th inning. 8th inning coming. It's 3-1.
Today's A's highlight. Xfinity X1 will change the way you experience TV. Say it and see it with the X1 points to the most. Find the A's games Saturday and more.
All right, we haven't gone to break. There's some chance this may be reviewed. Inning, 8th inning on the way.
Tonight's total
big lead, 3-1 as we go to the 8th inning, and now time becomes a factor. Chris Hatcher has come on in relief here in this 8th inning, so Kendall Graveman is done. Pitched awfully well tonight, and Hatcher will deal with the top of the order. Right-hander, 6'1", 195 pounds. Originally with the Dodgers, and this is his 31st overall appearance. He's gone 2-0 to the Shield, speedy leadoff man, and we have seen this so many times this year. Go ahead, put the first man on via the walk, and that can create a lot of havoc in the late innings. And that's ball 3.
Well, the Rangers for 7 innings saw Kendall Graveman carve up the strike zone, all sides of it, down, in, out. 6 strikeouts, all of them came in the first 4 innings, and no walks. A pretty nice performance by Graveman.
Here's the automatic strike to the Shields, 3-1. Hatcher was acquired from the Dodgers on August 15th. The trade involved Oakland sending international slot money to the Dodgers, and that one is low, ball 4. The Shields draws a walk to start the 8th inning. Hey, time now for the unlimited baseball break, brought to you by T-Mobile. Chris Sale got hammered yesterday. 3 runs in just 3 innings for the 2nd time in his career. Rhys Hoskins, you might not have heard the name. I hadn't until just yesterday. But the first player in big league history, 8 homers, 19 RBIs in his first 15 games, and the Dodgers to 90 wins before August 25th. Just the 3rd team to pull that feat. Now ball 1 to Shin-Soo Choo in this 8th inning. Leadoff man on base here in the 8th inning via the walk. Let's see if the Rangers can make that work for him, down by 2. They're making good contact earlier tonight against Graveman, but just could not turn that into a very much on the scoreboard. In fact, they had at least 1 hit in every inning. The first inning they had 3 hits, the inning in which they did get their run. There's a strike, evening the count on Choo. Shields certainly a distraction right now for Chris Hatcher, and this is what Choo has talked about quite a bit lately, is that it really makes his job easier at the plate. Hatcher has tried a number of different things already to try and keep Delano a little bit closer. That lead a little, not going, and the pitch is outside.
Well, Hatcher's having a hard time locating the strike zone, and Choo's a good guy to have up there with that going on, because he generally won't expand his strike zone.
Swings and misses. That'll even the count at 2-2. Hatcher was with the Dodgers last year, pitched in 37 games. Had some injury trouble, was placed on the disabled list in July of last year. This year with the Dodgers, had pitched with them 26 times in relief, and again was placed on the DL before being traded. Runner goes, and a bouncer foul. Stays 2-2 on Shin-Soo Choo. The A's gave away a little international slot money to get the services of Hatcher here down the stretch. And help their bullpen. It's been a problem for the A's. Bullpen ERA of well over 4.5 this year. 2 waits. Delano running, and there's a swing and a bouncer at first base. Grabbed it first, and the put out there easily done. DeShields running keeps him out of a double play.
Well, the Rangers have hit some balls hard. The one that hurt, other than that one, which could have easily gone down the right field line as well as it was hit. You see the first baseman come off the bag after holding the runner, and he's right there to catch it. Was the one Delano hit in the 5th inning. With Drew Robinson running, hit that line shot a little higher. It goes into right center field for at least a first and third. Instead, Lowry caught it, turned it into a double play.
Well, Andrews has a couple of base hits tonight. Those were off Graveman. Hatcher leaves one up and away for ball 1. More balls than strikes for the A's right-hander. And this ball shot high in the air out to center field, but Powell circling underneath it. He'll make the catch. Shields tags, but he stays put. 2 away now. Now, tickets for groups of 20 or more start at only $12 each and offer great savings off gate prices. Group pricing also available in 9 different seating areas, plus the all-inclusive Cholula all-you-can-eat seats. Learn more about group savings offered for every Rangers game at texasrangers.com/groups. Well, Jose Leclerc getting ready in the Rangers pen. Alex Claudio appears he already is ready. Adrian Beltre takes a strike. Beltre's never faced Hatcher before. Hatcher with runners in scoring position this year with the Dodgers and now with Oakland has really been incredible. Opponents are 2 for 33 against him in these spots. Just about hit Beltre there. It's 1-1. Even with DeShields at second, Hatcher remains really concerned with him, and 2 outs in the inning. You wouldn't expect Delano to be going anywhere. One pitch, and Beltre takes it a little bit in. 2-1. Nomar Mazara waits on deck. This will be the only night game out here in Oakland. Day game tomorrow, day game on Sunday. And then the rest of the plans of this trip right now, a little bit up in the air. Bouncer foul, it's 2-2. Now Banny and the Rangers know that every night at this point of the season is a critical battle for them. Won 3 of the first 4 games on this road trip. Not that many games left in the regular season into the last 5 weeks. Beltre stays alive. Now, one big swing by Beltre could tie this game. We've seen him with 2 strikes in these spots. Cut down a little bit at times as well and just try to keep the inning going and get another man to the plate. Now a conversation as Maxwell heads out there to talk to Hatcher. And there's a good shot of Lance Barksdale, our plate umpire. Beltre maybe playing the part of Spicoli, getting back into the box. There's a 2-2. Fouled off. .38 years old, already past 3,000 hits. It was fun today earlier down at the clubhouse. Ricky Henderson came wandering into the clubhouse and snuck up behind Beltre, kind of teasing him for a few moments. Beltre had his headphones on, didn't even know he was there. Swings and misses strike 3 before finally Henderson got his attention and congratulated him on joining the big club. This strikeout, though, in the 8th inning ends the threat for the Rangers. We go to the last of the 9th. It's a 3-1 game. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. And by AT. Brought to you by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. And by AT&T Internet. Visit AT&T.com/keepcalm to learn more. A lot of beautiful scenes out here in the Bay Area as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. 3-1. Oakland leads, and a swing and a miss by Bruce Maxwell gets us going in the last of the 8th. Jose Leclerc on in relief.
Yeah, it's a good opportunity for Jose. The last couple of times out, he struggled with control. Nice to see him come in and have a nice 14-pitch inning, throw a lot of strikes, get some success, feel good about it.
Near miss. The count goes to 1-1. Replaces Nick Martinez, who was really good tonight. With his 7 innings pitched, 3 runs on 4 hits. High fly ball out to left field. Playable out there for Robinson. 1 away. All right, taking a look at the Progressive upcoming schedule. Day games tomorrow and Sunday to wrap up this series in Oakland. Off day Monday, and then a series with Houston, currently scheduled to be in Houston Tuesday through Thursday. That, of course, right now, and a little bit dubious with Hurricane Harvey hitting shore, and the Angels come a calling to Arlington over the weekend. So Leclerc fires in a strike to Boog Powell. He started Maxwell with strike one, starts Powell with strike one. Powell walked earlier tonight, 0 for 2. Leclerc very much in need of a bounce back performance tonight. The last couple outings have been a little shaky. There's 2-2 on Powell. Shot to shortstop. Nice spinning play by Andrews, and he throws out Powell 2 away.
That was just a beautiful play. One hop smash. Not that easy to catch it in the first place. Backhands it, spins around, and flips it perfectly, accurately to first base. That was a pretty play. Made it look easy. By the way, he's smiling, though. He knows it wasn't routine. Pretty happy with himself, though, the way he played it.
Gives him something to talk about out there, too. You know, he's always at a shortage of things to talk about with the guys out there. Really well done. Simeon now takes one down low. 2-0 the count. Bottom of the 8th inning. A 2-run game, and all of a sudden the Rangers, you know, basically have led most of the night or have been tied. Starting to run very short on time here. Went in there for a strike. They will have Mazzara, Napoli, and Odor due in the 9th inning. They'll need a base runner and a big swing. Smash down at third base. Beltre pulls Napoli off the bag, and the ball comes out of his glove on the collision. So Simeon is safe.
Now there is a rarity. Adrian, for the last, who knows, 2 months, seemed like every throw is chest high and perfect. That one just sailed on him a little bit.
Now batting second baseman, number 8, Jed Lowry.
Almost corralled by Napoli in E5. Continues the inning now for Jed Lowry.
It's tough to control whether you can keep that ball in your glove. Well, it never was in Nap's glove. It's kind of falling out. He would have caught it if the runner didn't hit him, but the runner hit him right as the ball was near the tip of his glove and couldn't keep it in the glove. So a rare throwing error for Adrian.
Well, it gets Jed Lowry to the plate here in the 8th inning. Lowry swinging at the first pitch, lifts it out into left field. Drew Robinson's had a busy night out there. Puts that one away. Now the last chance for the Rangers is coming. Mazzara, Napoli, and Dorr when we come back. Dallas Love Field invites you to join them in non-stoppable sweepstakes. Tweet where you want to get away. Tag Southwest Air and use hashtag sweepstakes and hashtag non-stoppable for your chance to win a VIP experience for 2 and 25,000 Rapid Rewards points. On a new pitcher, Blake Trinan, on this 9th inning. He's been their closer lately.
Yeah, Trinan's been pitching better for Oakland than he was before he got traded from the National League. .320 batting average against him in the National League, only .205 over here, and he saved 5 games. So nice pickup for the A's. He's doing a nice job for him.
Yeah, the first 15,000 fans to the game on Saturday, September 9th, will be treated to a Rangers On Deck Circle mouse pad presented by EST Group and Dell EMC. Rangers and Yankees, a noon game. Get your tickets at TexasRangers.com. Just be careful where you put the mouse pad. All right, so Trinan set to go here. It'll be Mazzara, Napoli, and Odor. That was a pretty nifty little fastball at 98 miles per hour.
Guess so. That thing had movement on it, too.
And we're going to see if the Rangers can pull off a huge comeback on this road trip. 0-2 to Mazzara. I don't mean huge in terms of runs scored. There's no doubt they could score 2 runs. But boy, what a big lift it would be if they could somehow muster a couple of runs in this 9th inning.
The first pitch was 98 miles an hour, and it went from left to right. The last one was a cutter at 92 miles an hour that sharply came in.
Trinan, 3rd pitcher of the night for the A's. Kendall Graveman went 7 strong innings, worked around 9 hits to allow just the 1 run. There's a swing and a miss by Mazzara. He strikes out to start the 9th inning. Well, it brings up Mike Napoli, our TXU Energy power player to watch. Napoli, 75 career home runs here in the state of California. Most in any state. You might imagine the next highest state total is Texas. Boy, with the games he has played and the damage he has done against the Angels, and yet what he's been able to do against Oakland, 75 home runs in this state. He takes a strike though from Trinan. Home run would be fine right here, but Rangers really need a base runner more than anything else. Trinan, pretty big kid, 6'5", 226 pounds. Righties 1-1. That one is fouled to the left side, and another broken bat for Napoli.
I didn't even see where the end of it went. Oh, there it is, way down there.
Both breaks have been similar, right? I mean, he's just left with what's in his hands.
The exit velocity of the bat off the ball was more than the ball off the bat.
Bouncer wide of the bag again. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Napoli. Rangers down to their final 2 outs. Trinan had a huge year last year with the Nationals, 8th in the National League among relievers in terms of ERA. Very good ground ball pitcher. We've seen some overpowering stuff already here tonight. And he punches out Napoli. So 2 away. Back-to-back strikeouts for Trinan.
The Rangers have seen some good pitching tonight. Kendall Graveman was at the top of his game. Chris Hatcher walked the leadoff hitter, but came back and threw the ball well. And Trinan, looks like he's untouchable right now. Two-seam 98-mile-an-hour fastball, a hard slider, cutter. Pretty good command of it.
So now the last hope, Rougned Odor. He doubled earlier tonight, 1 for 3. Well, last night the Rangers got over 500. A real nice win over the Angels. Today in danger of dropping back to that 500 mark. And if they indeed fall short tonight, they will be 2 back that second wild card. Astros winning in Los Angeles tonight, 2-1. The Twins unfortunately have already won today, and there's a strike to Odor. Balls and a strike. Robinson Chirinos waiting on deck, and the Rangers would love to see him get to the plate. Attendance tonight here in Oakland, 14,499 on a Friday night. So Odor 1 bat pitch away from getting on base and getting that tying run up, but he'll take a strike. It's a full count. Gets them up on their feet. The kid's got it right. Chris Davis today did rock once again, a couple of home runs. Payoff pitch. There's a swing, and that one lined out toward right field and caught knee-high by Joyce to win the ball game. Well, Odor put good wood on that one, but it was not enough. And the Rangers fall short, 3-1, our final score here tonight.
Well, the Rangers ran into good pitching tonight. As we mentioned, Kendall Graveman was terrific, and they also ran into a hitter who's one of the best power hitters in baseball and had a big night. He hit 2 home runs. Chris Davis, 2 solo home runs against the Rangers in his career. He's played 28 games and hit 15 home runs and knocked in 31 runs. So a hot hitter tonight anyway, and a good starting job by Graveman and nice relief pitching, and the Rangers fall 3-1.
Well, turn right back around and be able to get after him tomorrow afternoon. Dana Larson, Mark McLemore, and Mike Bassett will be right back to talk about Chris Davis and his big home runs. A tough luck for Martinez as well. All the player reactions and analysis from this one. For Tom Grieve, John Radigan, and our entire crew, I'm Dave Raymond, inviting you to stay with us. Rangers Live postgame show starts right after this.